They told you the story backwards. The Negro is the Indian, or copper-colored indigenous people of America, who is actually a redskin. Who is actually a redskin. Many think, quote unquote, black people are black. Yet, there are many shades of copper, which is the color of earth. If you look into old dictionaries, you will see that Niggr and Indian were synonymous, and that color is simply short for copper colored. Why do you think they keep changing the titles from India to Negro to color to African American? The Blackmore Negro is the most copied man on earth. Whew. Mm-mm. Mm. We gonna let it breathe for a second. Y'all good? Y'all straight? Y'all heads ain't pop yet? Yeah, that's a bomb right there, right? They said Niggr and Indian are synonymous. This is what we've been trying to tell people. This is what we've been trying to tell people. The shit that we've been trying to tell people is written in books that we haven't even read yet. That's what's crazy. Of people way back when. People be talking about when nobody talking about this until 2020 and pandemic. Boy, all these books is from the 1800s, 1900s, early 2000s, 1995s and shit. People been talking about this. People been debunking Charles Darwin. People been trying to tell black Americans who they are. Our people just stiff-necked, stubborn. That's our only downfall, being stubborn. All right. One more time for the people in the back. The elites tell the story backwards. The Negro is the Indian, or copper-colored indigenous peoples of America, who is actually a redskin. Many think so-called black people are black. Boy, tell me the truth. They be calling us black all day long and we brown and shit. But anyways, yet there are many shades of copper, which is the color of the earth. Appreciate that. If you look in the old dictionaries, if you look into the old dictionaries, like we've been showing y'all and telling y'all, right, before the Rothschilds got a hold of stuff, look into the old dictionary, the old books, you will see that Niggr and Indian are synonymous, and that colored is simply short for coppered colored. You know, the slightest common sense will tell you that one. Why do you think they keep changing the titles from India to Negro to colored to African American? The Blackmore, or the Negro, or the American Negro, or the Indian, or the Mongolian Tartaria, or whatever the fuck you want to call us that suits your fancy. Because I don't really like arguing with our people about terminologies. So, the Blackmore, Negro, Indian is the most copied man on earth. And that is true. What's that in real? Real in the building? It's the most copied man on earth. And that is true. What's that in real? Real in the building? And that is true. We got Chinese people getting locks and shit. Everybody's a drill rapper. Everybody's dressing like us, talking like us. Everybody's using our slang. Etc., etc., etc. And the melanated woman, oof. Don't let us talk about the melanated American Indian woman. She is definitely the most copied in the world. Everybody got the melanated woman mannerisms from the rainbow people. Like, it seems like in order to be a rainbow person of any demographic, you got to act like a melanated woman. That's crazy, right? So from rainbow people to YT women to all other women, mannerisms, slang, the tone, the vocabulary, the way they dress, all of them is imitating our women, right? All right. So let's keep going. Somebody said go back. I'll go back in just a second. Got to keep it on the roll. Gotta keep it on the roll. You feel me? So now, they are the most copied man on the earth. The Toltecs, Mayans, Aztecs, etc. were all so-called blackamoors or American Negroes. Most historians, anthropologists, and scholars refer to the Olmecs as the mother culture of pre-Hispanic Mexico. The presence of the Olmecs predate the Mayan civilization by more than 1,500 years plus, and the Aztecs in Mexico by as many as 25,000 years plus, which would indeed make it the oldest pre-Columbian civilization society in Mesoamerica. Emerging from the jungles of Mexico, southernmost Gulf Coast, the Olmec influence spread throughout Central America and manifested itself in art, agriculture, religious rituals, and other areas. There is enough evidence from agricultural, architectural digs to support the idea that the Olmec civilization possessed several of the characteristics of a civilization, a social structure, a political structure, and an economic structure, religious and arts, right? The Talian of Aztec mythology was renowned for its sumptuous palace and awe-inspiring buildings made from gold and jade and turquoise and quetzal feathers. The city was also thought to have been flooded with wealth generated by the gifted Toltec craftsmen, highly skilled at metallurgy and pottery, so much so that their potters were said to have taught the clay to lie. And later, Aztec metalworkers and jewelers were known as Tolteca. The Toltecs were also credited with mastering nature and producing huge maize crops and natural colored cotton of red, yellow, green, and blue. What? Look at all these different colors of cotton, and you only know white cotton. Could white cotton be GMO? And real cotton is red, yellow, green, and blue? Because everything got color. That's natural, right? Peep game. Unsurprisingly, following centuries of looting, no artifacts survive to attest this material wealth except indications that the Toltecs did do a major trade in obsidian used for blades and arrowheads, which are mined from nearby Pachua. The Olmec colossal head are stone representations of human heads sculpted from large basalt boulders. They range from the height of 1 to 3 meters or 3.8 to 11 feet high. The weight between 6 to 50 tons. The heads are distinctive features of Olmec civilization of ancient Mesoamerica, all portraying mature individuals with fleshy cheeks, flat noses, and slightly crossed eyes. Their physical characteristics correspond to a type that is still common among the inhabitants of Tabasco and Veracruz. The backs of the monuments often are flat. The boulders were brought to Sierra de los Texlas Mountains in Veracruz. Given that the extremely large slabs of stone used in the production were transported over large distances over 150 kilometers or 93 miles using horse or buggy? Impossible. The monuments represent portraits of powerful individuals, Olmec rulers. Each of the known examples has a distinctive headdress. The heads were variously arranged in a line or groups at major Olmec centers, but the method and linguistics used to transport the stone to these sites remain unclear. Giants, they all display distinctive headgear, and one theory is that these were worn as protective helmets, maybe worn for war or to take part in ceremonial Mesoamerican ball games. All right. Shout out to everybody that's in here. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. And that right there, just a little read that we're going to be digging into. right? And this is just a one world Tartarian timeline, right? Page number 222. We all synchronize, right? And it just tells you the World Fair timelines. Like you got in London, 1914, you got the Anglo-American exhibitions. You got the Sweden Baltic exhibitions, etc., etc. Tokyo, Germany, United Kingdom, Barstow, Nottingham, right? You got all these World Fair Tartaria areas. That's not just in America. Hold on, y'all.
So,
Mama, I'm on live, y'all. Close the door. I'm on live. I got y'all. I got y'all. Come on, man. Y'all see me on live. Man. Man, you feel me? I got y'all. Hold on. I'll be in there in just a second. So, these are just the timelines of internationally world fairs. That's everywhere. From Germany to the UK to America to the Dutch East Indies to the West Indies to Tokyo to France to London to Sweden. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Right? But in 1915, you got Richmond, United States, which is the Negro Historical and Industrial Exposition. Now, I'm doing my research and my deep diving into this because I'm pretty sure there's some gems in there, right? Because we had our own exposition that talks about our history in 1950 called the Negro Historical and Industrial Exposition. Now, this is a time frame that's before McGraw-Hill book and before Rothschilds bought out the Board of Education. So I wonder what we're going to find once I let y'all know that I got it. But I just want to show y'all this if y'all want to screenshot it. And it says there was also great economic crisis and hardships during the time of the world exhibitions, right? It was great economic crisis during these times, right? I wonder why. The Panic of 1857, a U.S. recession with bank failures, right? I wonder who's behind all these panics, right? Remember, Reconstruction era, right? The overthrowing of Negro rule, right? Who is these Negroes that's being overthrown, right? American Negroes, Indians, so-called blackamoors, etc., right? So in order to crash the economic system, which sounds very familiar in today's time, right? Little hat people, listen, there was a great economic crisis and hardships. The Panic of 1857. A U.S. recession with bank failures. The Panic of 1866 was an international financial downturn that accompanied the failure of Overend Gurney and the Company of London. The Great Depression of British agriculture in 1873. Peep game, I'm going to show y'all something real quick after we get done with this. The last, of agriculture in 1873 to 1896, right? The Long Depression of 1873 and 1896, the Panic of 1873 of U.S. Recession of bank failures, followed by a 4-year depression with the Panic of 1884. Right, you got a Panic of 1893, which is another bank failure, which I'm gonna stop y'all right there. All these banks is ours, right? Y'all remember the newspaper article that we read in 1912? That also, that said that we have $1 billion of real estate in our name, right? But on the other side of that newspaper, it told you that we own 51 banks because there's no central banks at this time. All of these banks are owned by us. 51 banks controlled and owned by us and other financial institutions. They're crashing all of